Okay, here with us now, former Republican governor of Massachusetts who recently endorsed Barack Obama for president, Governor William Weld. Welcome.
Thank you
Let's
so
work
much
on those ideas. But let's talk politics first. You endorsed Mitt Romney during the primaries. So I'm wondering if John McCain had picked Mitt Romney as his running mate, would your endorsement be different today?
Well, that would have been a running start. I mean, I think what Mitt Romney and Barack Obama have in common, and not too many people would see a common thread there, but I think they both process a lot of new information and respond to conditions on the ground. And, of course, the thing I loved about Governor Romney is he knows so much about the economy. And I've read Senator Obama's platform and studied his pronouncements about what he's going to do. I think it all hangs together. I think he's responding to conditions on the ground.
All right. Joe, one of the questions I have is whether this is more about John McCain's campaign and the way it was run, or if this is about Barack Obama. Take it away.
Well, Governor, and also about the direction of the Republican Party. Obviously, you've had concern for some time about a Southern-centric Republican Party. It used to be that red state America was in the Northeast. That's where Republicans always won Northeast states. What does the Republican Party have to do going forward to win Maine in presidential elections again, to be competitive in New Hampshire, in Massachusetts, in Northeast states?
Well, as you remember, Joe, back in the mid-'90s, I did have some concern about the party playing on a smaller field, as it were. I gave a speech at the Houston Convention in 1992, the Republican National Convention, that I want the government out of your pocketbook and out of your bedroom. I was in the libertarian end of the Reagan coalition when I served in the Justice Department in the 80s. And I think there's some indication that in this election, the Republican Party has been playing on a smaller field. So, as Bill Parcells used to say, let's elongate that playing field and we'll put more points on the board.
Well, Governor, is that the future of the Republican Party, a more libertarian Republican Party? Is that how you start winning in Maine, in New Hampshire, in Connecticut?
Well, I hope so. I think it was Thomas Jefferson who said that government is best which governs least. And that was, the title of a book by Phil Crane, who I supported for president in 1980. I think Phil's on the libertarian end also.
All right, Governor. Let me
Jay
ask.
Carney?
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Mika. Go ahead, Jay.
Governor, it's Jay Carney in Washington. But having said that, you, a Republican governor, former governor on the Libertarian side, are endorsing Barack Obama. Some other Republicans are endorsing Barack Obama. A lot of Republicans are going to lose in this election cycle their seats in the House and the Senate. And what will be left is a party that is even more Southern-centric, even more socially conservative, even more driven by issues that put the government in the bedroom, and not necessarily the party that's all about fiscal conservatism that I think represents more of your views. What is this party savable?
Well, my endorsement of Senator Obama really has more to do with Senator Obama than it does with Senator McCain or the Republican Party. I just think Obama has a kit basket of talent that I've seldom, if ever, seen the like. I think he's a once-in-a-generation combination of extreme intelligence and great balance and calm. I mean, I look forward to seeing that degree of calm and judgment and balance in the Oval Office.
And, Governor, let me ask you this. Charles Krauthammer says this in, I believe, the Washington Post. Contrarian that I am, I'm voting for John McCain. I'm not talking about bucking the polls or the media consensus that it's over before it's over. I'm talking about bucking the rush of wet-fingered conservatives leaping to Barack Obama before they're left out in the cold without a single state dinner for the next 4 years. What say you?
Well, I was never a movement conservative or a social conservative. I was a tax cut conservative, and I was a supply-sider. The thought has crossed my mind. We've had this perfect fiscal and monetary policy for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And look where we are.
Yeah, look where we are. We're exploding. Our economy. Andy, go ahead.
Is the Republican Party in disarray? I mean, not to beat this as a dead horse, Governor, but I mean, you've got the President and Treasury Secretary Paulson in one camp. You've got John McCain in another camp. You have social conservatives in another camp. Is this a party that doesn't have a center anymore?
Well, if you have a party with people with a lot of different views, sure, you could call that in disarray, or you could call it a big party. That's how the Democrats ruled the roost for so long. They married the Northeast liberals with the Southern Democrats, and they sort of got away with it, and it wound up with something pretty near the center. And I think when the Republican Party can do that, it's going to be the majority party again.
What about having a coalition for the next president to put together to face the national crisis. We talked about that. Is that ever going to be something that's going to happen, do you think? Would you be willing to serve in the next administration?
Well, I'm not looking for a job, but my advice to a President Obama or a President McCain would be absolutely bring in 3 members of the opposite party in your cabinet. Last year, I supported an organization called Unity 08, which was run by Jerry Rafshoon, a Carter guy, and Doug Bailey, a Ford guy, out of Washington. The idea was to have a president and vice president from different parties. And I thought that would have been shorthand for, governing from the center, which I think is a good idea, and I hold to that view.
Governor, well, before we let you go, Sarah Palin's taken a lot of heat lately. Some polls show that her favorability ratings are down. Some people blaming her for the fate of the McCain campaign. What did you make of that selection of Sarah Palin?
I'm not buying the criticism. I think she's kind of fresh. I think anyone who can get themselves elected governor against all odds in a U.S. state is probably qualified to be president. She beat a very good, very well-regarded former governor to get there when people were throwing bombs at her. So,
Governor Will, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks a lot.